A few months ago, a masterpiece of a film was released. This film was praised for its story, visuals that create a great adventure from a classic character. This movie was Wonka. Oh yeah, I also guess Godzilla Minus One released too. Godzilla Minus One was a great film and the first Japanese Godzilla film in 8 years, with Shin Godzilla being released in 2016 and being another critically acclaimed movie. While Japan over the last decade was seeing great success with their Godzilla movies, how are we doing over here in the States? Oh dear God. Don't get me wrong, I love the Godzilla films that Legendary has been making recently, but when you view them compared to the Japanese versions, you can tell that there's quite a contrast between how the two countries make their movies. This made me wonder, how different are the two countries and how they portray this famous monster? After all, how much could a character change just by going across the ocean? Dear God, why do I ask such stupid questions? Starting with origin stories, Godzilla has never had one specific origin, but it was always rooted in humanity doing something with nuclear energy that we probably should have been doing, leading to Godzilla being mutated and becoming the destructive creature he is now. What is America's interpretation of this? He's a massive fucking god that's king of a ton of other massive fucking ancient gods. For this video, I'm just going to be looking at 4 specific movies. Well, not really 4, more like 3 movies and a universe. There's the original 1954 Godzilla, Shin Godzilla, all the MonsterVerse movies, and then Godzilla Minus One. Godzilla throughout these 4 movies had different beginnings. In the original, he was simply a dinosaur or some kind of prehistoric animal that was mutated through America testing hydrogen bombs near him. They kept that premise for Godzilla Minus One, but we do see a pre-mutated Godzilla attack at the start of the film, which kind of resembles the Godzilla from the 1998 Zilla movie. Then Shin Godzilla had Godzilla be some kind of sea creature that came into contact with nuclear waste, and over the course of time mutated into the Godzilla we all know and some love. Now the MonsterVerse movies do involve nuclear energy, but apparently Godzilla feeds off of the nuclear energy instead of being created from the nuclear energy. And in the 1950s, Godzilla was awakened from his hibernation because of America's hydrogen bombs. And throughout history, Godzilla has always been fighting titans like King Kong or King Ghidorah, because Godzilla is the true king. Ain't that right, buddy? Moving on, ever notice how the American version of Godzilla looks so different from the Japanese version?
No.
Yeah, Godzilla overseas definitely is rooted in a reptilian-based design. Not to say America doesn't have reptiles mixed in with that thick boy of ours, but it definitely has a more human-like design. I don't know how to explain it, but the MonsterVerse Godzilla is more expressive than any other versions of him. You can see the emotion on his face, which does help the audience connect to him. Like I just showed before, the 1998 Godzilla was drastically different from pretty much every single iteration of Godzilla ever made. Because, well, fucking retards were in charge of that movie, and decided to change his entire backstory being about Godzilla is an iguana that was mutated into this monster. So they modeled Zilla after a huge iguana. Now, something I definitely need to touch on if I'm going to talk about Godzilla's designs is Shin Godzilla, and by that I mean the evolution of it. Shin Godzilla's first form, I don't think we even seen that movie, but it's some kind of aquatic animal. But it goes on to mutate into looking like an overgrown lizard that starts to crawl along a coastal city, while blood pours from its body. I've seen some video essays talking about Shin Godzilla's design, especially in this form, and it's kind of sad. In this form specifically, it's just a creature trying to walk on land, and it's met with violence, and its own body is trying to kill it. The Godzilla in this movie is an animal, a newborn, scared animal that's just trying to live and accidentally destroys and kills, which leads to humans trying to kill Godzilla. So it's thrust into this world of violence simply for existing. Now this can easily get into a philosophical debate over whether or not Shin Godzilla deserved to live, the consequences of violence, what lives are considered sacred, and a whole lot of shit, which I don't feel like getting into right now since this video is not meant to be about just Shin Godzilla. Maybe I'll make one eventually, I don't know. If you want to hear my schizophrenic, insane ramblings about Godzilla, life and death, and all that, you'll have to let me know in the comments. But overall, the big thing about Shin Godzilla's appearance is that it's always changing, but it was stopped at the 4th form after he was subdued. Not killed, merely stopped. I've seen people online talk about the potential godlike and beautiful 5th form of Shin Godzilla that could have potentially had the power to rival even someone like Goku. Post editing fair square here, I just want to let you know that the director of Shin Godzilla is also the creator of Evangelion, Hideaki Anno. So there's a lot of similarities between the two, especially when you get into the fifth form stuff about what that could have been and what his ideas were. So yeah, just a little bit of information for y'all to know. But we never get to see that. I highly recommend watching this video if that fifth form shit interests you. I'm gonna be honest, this video left me in a slight mental crisis. I don't know why, but video essays that go deep into horror shit leave me overthinking everything for a bit, even if it is just something like a kaiju movie. Anyway, let's move on. The tone of the movies is definitely different between the two countries. The Japanese Godzilla has a more depressing and serious atmosphere compared to America's action-packed and sometimes comedic tone. The American movies definitely feel like they want to be serious, but I mean, come on, it's a huge-ass lizard fighting bugs, a three-headed dragon, and a monkey, so there's only so much seriousness you can pull from that. I mean, even in Japan, after a while, they started getting silly with Godzilla fighting fucking bug monsters and shit. Like I said a moment ago, Shin Godzilla has a dreadful tone. When Shin Godzilla attacks Tokyo with his dorsal fins and killed everyone, I just felt like humanity was fucked. There was no stopping him. And then when you look at the what ifs with his fifth form and what that could have implied, then it's even more horrifying. I feel like it just leads to an infinite dread glitch that God has yet to patch. Dude, I need to stop talking about Shin Godzilla. I gotta move on before I spiral down a rabbit hole again. Godzilla, without a doubt, has human characters. A movie like Godzilla that's about a huge monster coming in and destroying human property needs human characters to show the consequences of the damage. Sure, we can see Godzilla destroy a city, but if we only follow Godzilla, then the reality of what happened wouldn't set in. We just saw a city get destroyed, but why should we care? We didn't know anyone that lived in that city. That's why human characters are essential. I think Godzilla Minus One had excellent human characters. That movie had Koichi Shikishima as the main protagonist, who was a kamikaze pilot that pussied out of killing himself and decided to go home. He had to face the consequences of his actions. His family was now dead, his hometown was destroyed. Dude had nothing to live for. But he meets this girl who rescued a baby from a dead woman, and those three go on to form a family. Koichi and this woman go on to get jobs, and things finally start to get better. Koichi has a reason to live, then it's all taken away. Godzilla attacks Ginza, leading to Noriko's quote-unquote death. I honestly feel like she should have just died here. Look at this. No one survives a blast like this.
I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop.
Things start to go downhill from there until Koichi decides to take on Godzilla himself. Koichi flies a plane into Godzilla's head, setting off explosives which quote-unquote kill him. Jesus Christ, this movie and its fake deaths. Koichi has a very interesting character arc, which, as you can tell, I gave a bare-bones explanation of, because I honestly think you should go see Minus One and see how his character really develops. American films just don't have that kind of human connection. In the 2014 Godzilla, we got a military man and his family as our human characters, which they don't do too well doing, honestly. I really don't care about the fact that this dude's dad died because of Mutos, because we didn't really get to see or learn much about their relationship. Bryan Cranston and his son are distant, the son doesn't really care about Bryan Cranston, that's all we get. For Godzilla vs. Kong, they tried using the human characters as people to root for if you cared about Godzilla or Kong. Were you team Godzilla or Kong? I was team kill all these annoying ass characters, both of the human sides suck. On Godzilla's side we have Fat Black Guy, Millie Bobby Brown not playing 11, and a virgin. On Team Kong we got Pussy Bitch, MILF Bitch, and Deaf Bitch. I do feel bad about calling the little girl a bitch, especially after learning that the actress is actually deaf, but still. I don't care enough about any of these characters to warrant me worrying about their safety. All I care about was seeing a giant lizard punching a giant monkey, and even then we got the Batman v Superman treatment, because they fought like twice and then teamed up to take out Mechagodzilla. Then Godzilla pulled out a, "You did good, kid, you did good," and then just goes God knows where. It's not hard to see that the Japanese have better character development because they know it's important, and it seems they base the movie off of the humans. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that they write the human character first and then find ways to add Godzilla to it. Godzilla is meant to be a natural disaster, which is why it seems to be the perfect way to write a Godzilla movie. Natural disasters are unplanned for and can ruin people's lives and even take them. Make a character, put them through some hardship, and then throw in a Godzilla attack at the worst time for them, and then see how that character rebounds. That seems like a pretty good way to make the starting of a Godzilla movie. Now, obviously, you can like whatever movies you want. I can't control what you enjoy yet, so if you enjoy the Japanese Godzilla movies, that's fine. For the American versions, go you. But at the end of the day, Godzilla had a huge impact on movies, whether you realize it or not. Now, I gotta go. I need to launch some nukes into the Pacific Ocean so I can awaken an ancient monster. See y'all in the next video.